Hi, third graders. This is Miss Clark at Lou's, and today we're going to continue talking about elapsed time. Now, remember, when we think about elapsed time, we want to think about how much time has passed by from the start of the event to the end of the event. We're going to look at these two clocks, and we're going to figure out how much time has passed by. This first clock, I see that the hour hand is on the 5, and the minute hand is on the 1, which I know is 5 minutes. So the start time is 5:05. When I look at the end clock, I see that the hour hand is pointing at the 8, and the minute hand is pointing at the 1, which means it's 5 minutes. So the end time is 5. To figure out how much time has passed by, I'm going to use our number line. On the far end of our number line, I'm going to start with 5:05 because that's the start time. And I'm going to draw our mountains to count the hours until I get to 8:05 p.m. I draw one mountain and I'm at 6:05. I draw my second mountain and I'm at 7:05. And I draw the next one and I'm at 8:05. To count how much time has gone by, I'm simply going to count my mountains. I have 1, 2, 3 mountains, so that means 3 hours have gone by. Let's practice it in a word problem. Cameron and his friends started playing Fortnite at 4:30 p.m. They finished their last game at 10:30 p.m. How long did Cameron and his friends play Fortnite? First, I'm going to look at my word problem to find what time I started. I see that Cameron started playing Fortnite at 4:30 p.m. So I'm going to write that for my start time. When I keep reading the problem, I see that they finished or they ended their last game at 10:30 p.m. So I'm going to write that for my end time. Now, to figure out how much time has gone by or how long Cameron and his friends played Fortnite, I'm going to use my number line and I'm going to draw my mountains starting at 4:30 and ending at 10:30. I draw my first one at 5:30 and then 6:30 and then 7:30 and 8:30 and 9:30 and finally I have 10:30. Now I'm going to count how many mountains I drew. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 mountains on my number line, so that means 6 hours have gone by. Cameron and his friends played Fortnite for 6 hours. Sometimes when I'm finding elapsed time, it doesn't always give me the start time or the end time. So let's take a peek at a problem like that and figure out how we can solve it. Taylor is going to a dance class. The class started at 9:50 a.m. If the dance class is 2 hours long, what time is Taylor's dance class over? When I look at this problem, I see that Taylor started her dance class at 9:50 a.m. So I can write that for my start time. But as I read through the problem, I don't see what time her class ended. But I do see that her class was 2 hours long. Since I know that her class was 2 hours long, I know that when I draw my mountains on my number line, I'm going to draw 2 of them to show 2 hours. So let's start with 9:50 since that's our start time. We have 1 hour at 10:50, and then our second hour is at 11:50. We have our 2 mountains to show our 2 hours have gone by. So Taylor's dance class is over at 11:50 a.m. Let's try another one. Daniel's birthday party at Sky Zone was 4 hours long. If Daniel left Sky Zone at 7:45 p.m., what time did his party start? When I read this word problem, I see that I'm trying to find what time his party started. So that means I don't know that part. I do see that Daniel left Sky Zone at 7:45. So I can put that for my end time. His party was 4 hours long. Since I need to find what time his party started, and I see that he left at 7:45 and it was 4 hours long, I know that I need to draw 4 mountains on my number line to show 4 hours. This time though, we're going to start with our end time of 7:45 and we're going to draw our mountains backwards to figure out what time his party started. My first mountain, counting backwards, is 6:45. Our second mountain is at 5:45. Our third mountain is at 4:45. And our fourth mountain is at 3:45. I've got all 4 of my mountains drawn to show my 4 hours. So Daniel's party started at 3:45 p.m. For this problem, I'm going to read it, but then I want you to pause the video and try to figure the answer out on your own. When you pause the video, go grab your pencil and your notebook so that you can draw your number line and your mountains to show how much time has passed. Kayla went to school at 8:20 a.m. If her lunch is in 3 hours, what time will Kayla eat lunch? Go ahead and pause the video. Remember to use your pencil and your notebook to draw your number line and use your mountains to figure out what time Kayla will eat her lunch. All right, let's go through it together. I see that Kayla went to school at 8:20 a.m. So I know that that's going to be our start time. Her lunch is in 3 hours, so I don't know what time her lunch is, but I do know that on my number line, I'm going to show 3 mountains for my 3 hours. Let's start with 8:20, since that's the time she got to school. We have our first one at 9:20, another hour at 10:20, and our third hour is at 11:20. We have our 3 mountains to show our 3 hours, so that means Kayla will eat lunch at school at 11:20 a.m. Let's try another one. Wendy and her family went to the pool at the time shown on the clock. If they spent 7 hours at the pool, what time did they get home? I want you to pause the video and write in your notebook. Use your number line and your mountains to figure out what time Wendy and her family got home from the pool. Okay, I see that Wendy and her family went to the pool at the time on the clock. I know that this is going to be my start time, but I actually have to read the clock to figure out what time they left. I see that my hour hand is in between the 12 and the 1. I remember from last week that when the hour hand is in between 2 numbers, I'm always going to look at the time before. That means it's going to be 12. I see our minute hand is on the 7. I also remember from last week that to count the minutes, we need to count these numbers by 5s. So I have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and 35. 35 minutes have gone by, and our hour hand is going to be at 12. So that means it is 12:35 when they went to the pool. Now, I don't know what time they got back from the pool. That's what the question is asking. But I do know that they spent 7 hours there. Since I know they spent 7 hours there, on my number line, I should draw 7 mountains. We're going to start at 12:35, since that is the time they went to the pool. Our first hour is at 1:35. Our second hour is at 2:35. The third hour is 3:35. The fourth hour is 4:35. The fifth hour is 5:35. The sixth hour is 6:35. And finally, the seventh hour is 7:35. I have 7 mountains to show that I have 7 hours. So this means that Wendy and her family got home at 7:35 p.m. All right, third graders, great job today. You're going to move on to the next graded classwork activity, and you're going to practice your elapsed time. Don't forget to use your notebook and write down your number line and your mountains to help you with your time. If you need a refresher or you forget something, you can always come back to this video. Good luck!